The blue and white. Yeah, it's perfect. Now we fly next to the clouds and nobody can see us with this skin. Hi guys, this is Mattias. And for quite a while now, people have been asking me which plane I prefer between the attack plane and the fighter plane. And for a plane like myself that plays or flies both planes, this is of course situational. There are situations when the attack plane is the best, and there are situations when the fighter plane is the best. However, before the round starts and before you spawn whatever plane you choose, it is almost impossible to decide which one is going to be the best. Only in rare situations when you know enough about your opponent will you be able to make an aware decision of what plane is going to be better than the other. So in this video I'm going to share with you my opinions about what I think is good and bad with each plane compared to the other. The video is also based on the two most popular loadouts of these two planes, which is the trench fighter loadout for the fighter plane and the ground support loadout for the attack plane. So now starting off with the attack plane, what favors it over the fighter plane is of course its damage output and the fact that you can have a passenger. You can deal significant amount of damage to all targets, which includes armored vehicles such as tanks, but also all kinds of behemoths. And what also adds to the strength of the attack plane is its capability for teamwork, if used correctly. Now, the most obvious reason to have a gunner is, of course, that you let him or her shoot down planes that are chasing you. Now, if you're an experienced pilot, you probably know about seat switching, something that I've covered extensively. But what I find even more valuable when it comes to the teamwork aspect of the attack plane is that it can function as a spawn point, giving your squad mates a chance to either attack the enemies from a flanking position, to bail out and either capture or defend an objective, but especially to get into a good position to take out a tank that normally has been damaged by me, the pilot, before that happens. Now, with the ground support loadout of the attack plane, the main gun has, in my opinion, a very, very decisive role, and it is the main gun that you really need to be able to master if you want to be a successful pilot with the attack plane. Now, you can get a lot of kills and deal significant damage to vehicles with the bombs as well, but it's not nearly as all-round or as important as the main gun. Now, this weapon also does a significant amount of damage to enemy planes, something that you will see a little bit of later on in the video, even though this is actually part of this plane's weakness compared to the fighter plane. Not the damage output, but the slow projectile speed and the bullet drop makes it a lot harder to use.
With the back seat, yeah, it's so hard, right?
Yeah, sometimes I can give you an angle, like if I directly after a strafe, if I go straight up.
Yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, I'll try to do that.
We have lost objective Duff.
Yeah.
Oh, they're on D now, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Tank on D.
Yeah.
Oh, a guy got out from the
Yeah,
tank.
lot of damage on the tank and on
Where?
guys. And D. The D
going
tank is
F.
really low. Yeah, we killed it. Okay, attack plane. And now over to the fighter plane. Now this plane is faster, but most importantly, more maneuverable, and this is its big strength. Now with the Rankin darts or the explosive darts, you can kill people really, really fast. And if the situation is optimal, then this can actually be better than the attack plane, just because the enemies doesn't have a chance to react before they die. With the attack plane, sometimes if a group of people are clumped up in an area, they have a chance to react to taking damage. That is not the case with the Rankin darts. Now, the agility of this plane does of course allow it to be a lot easier to use for air-to-air. That also goes for the main gun, which has a lot more projectile speed and less bullet drop, also making it a lot easier to hit an enemy plane with, even if the damage output is less. As you saw in the beginning of the clip regarding to this fighter plane, you can quickly, and with the release of one load of these explosive darts, kill a transport vehicle. The same goes for the passengers and the driver of a torpedo boat, for example, even though that will not kill the boat itself. Now, the fighter plane has a lot more survivability when it comes to being attacked from the ground, and it is a lot more suitable to both avoid and to counter the QF-1AA, which is the stationary anti-air gun that you will find on all maps that has planes. Now, the one thing that you need to be really careful with when you're attacking either attack planes and even bombers is that you need to recognize what it looks like when a pilot is switching seats. Now, obviously, the best way to see this is, of course, by watching the animation of the pilot itself. But sometimes, depending on the angle and the distance to the plane, you may not be able to see that. However, with the right experience, you will quite quickly learn to recognize when a pilot is doing this because of the plane's behavior. The attack plane will, of course, stop maneuvering, and it will most likely be flying either straight forward or slightly upwards. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, they're taking it.
I killed 4. Now we can take it on B, I think.
There's a tank hunter.
What? They're still taking B after I kill those people. Oh, there's a land ship coming. He's sitting back in the base the whole time.
Is he still there?
Yeah. Now keep in mind when it comes to planes and Battlefield 1, unlike tanks and the artillery truck, for example, it is much more up to you as a pilot whether or not you're doing good or even having an impact on the game at all. Now, being a good or bad tanker does of course matter when being in an armored vehicle, but nowhere near as much as whether or not you know how to fly or not. Now, this is especially true when it comes to the fighter plane, just because you need to actually benefit from its maneuverability, and even more so if you're playing in the game mode Conquest. Now, because Conquest is a lot more unpredictable than Operations, you need to quickly adapt to where you want to, for example, land your darts. In Operations, it's normally much easier to predict where your opponents are going to be, and therefore you can of course over a longer period of time plan your strafe, which means that you don't require the same kind of maneuverability, but also it is normally much more rewarding to land your shots with a plane in Operations compared to Conquest. This is of course based on how people group up differently when you compare the modes with each others.
D or what?
Nice, we got him. Yeah, D. Absolutely. Oh, behind us. There is an example of leading, something that is rather important with both planes when you're fighting other planes, but you have to lead a lot more in most situations when you're using this attack plane. And this is of course because of what I said earlier, the slower projectile speed of the bullets of the attack plane. Now, if you know that you have a good, or at least an aware gunner with you, then if you're being attacked from behind, instead of trying to maneuver away many times or almost always, is it better to just fly straight forward in order to make it as easy as possible for your gunner. Now, this does of course make it easier for your opponent as well, but normally the rear gunner of the attack plane will out-damage whatever is chasing you. That is, unless you were hurt from before, or if you're taking damage from multiple enemies.
A horse guy.
Yeah, the straight line maneuver is not to be underestimated. Is he going for the AA?
We have lost.
Yeah, he's in it, I think. Almost. He's using a...
We have taken objective Charlie.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that is bad. Now, going up against anti-air with the attack plane is a lot more risky and a lot harder with the attack plane. With the fighter plane, you basically do it the same way as you kill anything else on the ground, but it's a lot more about when you do it and about your approach. There is an example of what I talked a bit about earlier. This guy was switching seats, and when I saw him do that, I kept going forward with full speed and tried to add some additional damage with the darts. Now, after I passed him, I could theoretically be killed by him even while he was still in the passenger seat. However, in this specific situation, he made his seat switch while the plane was going upwards, which means that he only has a very limited time when he can sit in that other seat before the plane actually crashes. And since I'm aware of this, I knew that I only had to make one quick maneuver and then I could start dealing damage again, knowing that he would be back in the pilot seat.
Damn. I will shadow
Of
play
course.
this.
Thank you.
I'm gonna flare E. There you go. You got some vision. Oh. Hello, anti-air. Goodbye, anti-air. Now that was a typical example of an opportunity that you really don't want to miss with this plane and this loadout. One of the things that is worth knowing about anti-air is that once somebody uses it and actually fires with it, it is very, very visible. This makes it a lot easier for you to shoot it down, assuming it is shooting on somebody else than yourself. Bully Smasher, thank you for following. Kill the guy on B. Oh, there's something else there. Are you
Heavy
taking?
tank is down.
Are you taking E or should I mark? Are you?
Mark E.
So, once you know how to fly the way I do with the fighter plane, there is nothing that can stop you.
F on those hills.
So, with a few more minutes left, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. My name is Matthias, and I want to thank you all for watching.
Losing C.
Oh shit, we can't go here.
Hit them for 40, the plane. Oh.
Nice, watch out, you can't go to G. You can't go to G.
Yeah.
Unless you dodge the... Yeah.
Yeah, he went to G.
Yeah, of course.
I
don't
hit-
think he could repair yet. so
I hit
he's
the
probably
anti-air
low
actually.
HP.
Down.
Oh nice,
Down.
behind us. Plane.
We have lost objective Charlie.
When you're flying, Matty, is are the edges of your screen blurred, or is that?
No, that's there's a word for that. Let me see what's
We
it
have
called
taken
again.
objective Freddy.
It's not done it recently, but all of a sudden it started doing it. It's really bugging me.
Yeah, it's called depth of field, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, turn it off.
Well,
turn
I'm pretty
that off,
certain it's off.
Okay.
what's
It can look good, but
It could be that you have a high graphic settings or something then. It can have something to do with just certain high graphic settings will put it on automatically. So
if
just
you tank
lower.
on B,
Well, that's the thing. I was playing on Ultra, and then
Yeah, but
I've changed it recently to lower settings,
We have
and
taken
it's done it
objective
then.
Edward.
then I would say it's probably has something to do with dice. I don't know, man. I know what to tell
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Objective George.
It could have something to do with dice then.
they have people outside C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right below here. Sniper.
It's only started doing it recently. I don't know. It's really irritating me.
I can understand that.
There's an option called it weapon depth of view, but that's the only one I can see.
Yeah, I'm using colorblind settings right now, yeah. I started doing that like a few days ago. And I have eyes like an eagle. I do it anyway. I don't have eyes like an eagle anymore though. I used to have like insanely good eyesight. I see good at close distance, longer distance I have a little bit so sight.
It does that when you hit 15. That's it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's when you reach the age of 15. When I was 14, I had great eyesight. Then I hit 15, I was like,
But I do say wanking makes you go blind.
is that what it's that what they say?
That's what they used to say in the old day, yeah, to stop people from doing it.
We have lost objective Edward.
I mean, people still had poor eyesight back then. I mean, how fucking disgraceful
were they
was
doing it?
Yeah, I mean, how much were they doing it back then? I mean, why all the wanking back in the days? You know, it's funny when you're in like a like a dressing room, like when I was playing hockey or whatever, You say you say to the people, to everyone out there, did you guys know that jerking off a lot will give you like really green hands? And everyone's like looking at the right hand. It's so fucking funny.